When I was a kid, I'd throw on a ski mask, leap off the couch, and start tossing toy shurikens at my brothers, my sister, even my mom. Inevitably, something would break, and that's when she'd transform into the dark dragon herself, broom in hand, unleashing her ultimate techniques as she chased me around the house. And now, with Ninja Gaiden 4 making its big return, I'm feeling that same old energy. The mask is back on. Only this time, instead of terrorizing my siblings, I'm occasionally tossing shurikens at my wife and kid. Don't worry, no property damage yet, though at this rate, I might end up sleeping on the porch soon. Alright, let's jump into the coolest new features coming to Ninja Gaiden 4. Before we get into the good stuff, here's what's new. First off, it's made by Team Ninja together with Platinum Games. That's a really strong combo. And from what we have seen so far, it looks amazing. Also, the story isn't a reboot. It continues the saga but with a new twist. The Dark Dragon is back, but this time it's trapped in a creepy husk floating over Tokyo. The city looks completely different now. It's dark, soaked in cursed rain and full of neon lights and massive skyscrapers. The whole place feels tense and heavy, a mix of futuristic tech and decay that sets a perfect gritty backdrop. The husk is what's causing the cursed downpour called Dark Rot, and it's tearing the city apart. And there's also a new group called the Divine Dragon Order, which is guarding the husk, and that's where our two protagonists come in. Okay, so here's the setup. Yakumo is our new playable ninja from the Blood Raven clan, and he wants to free the Dark Dragon from its husk and destroy it once and for all. But Ryu Hayabusa is with the Divine Dragon Order, making sure no one lets the dragon loose. This sets up some serious tension between the two, and it definitely feels like we're gonna get a face-off between Ryu and Yakumo. It's going to be legendary. We already know we'll be playing both characters in their own levels, but it looks like Yakumo is getting the most screen time in Ninja Gaiden 4. There's also a new difficulty called Hero Mode for new players. It's less punishing and even lets you auto block and dodge. As usual, we still have normal and hard modes, and after your first playthrough, you can unlock Master Ninja. In NG Plus, you can play all the levels again with either of the two characters. So that's great news for new players jumping into the game for the first time, and fans of Ryu Hayabusa can play the entire game using Ryu. Alright, it's time to talk about one of the coolest new feature in Ninja Gaiden 4, Yakumo's Blood Raven form. It's his wild transformation where he fights by manipulating both his own blood and his enemies. Once activated, weapon attacks turn into blood-powered strikes, slower but with massive range and brutal impact. That means long-range projectiles, sweeping AoE slashes, and a completely different flow to combat. It kind of fits Yakumo perfectly. He's young, cocky, stylish, and bold enough to challenge not just the Dark Dragon but even Ryu Hayabusa himself. And here's how it works. You got the Bloodbind gauge. Every hit, finisher, and execution fills it. But the real trick is nailing parries and counters. That's when it skyrockets. Once you got enough charge, holding down the right trigger activates Blood Driven form. It's not a permanent toggle, you weave in and out as long as the gauge holds. Let go, rack up some more meter and dive right back in. Then there's the advanced mechanic, the Hogeki counter, exclusive to Blood Raven form. If you time a heavy attack right as an enemy unleashes one of those red warning specials, you'll not only deflect the strike but also smash through their guard, leaving them completely staggered for a massive punish. The timing window is razor thin, which makes it risky, but landing it feels incredible. The kind of move that flips the entire fight in your favor and makes you feel like a true ninja. On top of that, Yakumo's got another meter, the Berserk gauge. Cause enough chaos and watch it fill. Once it's ready, hit R3 and L3 together and Yakumo snaps into Berserk state. For a short but glorious window, every attack is cranked to 11 and he unlocks Bloodbath kills. Instant executions that feel like a darker, more twisted evolution of the classic obliteration techniques. They're lightning fast, ridiculously stylish and absolutely brutal to watch. And there's more. Yakumo's weapons actually transform in Blood Raven form. From the demo we have seen 3 in action. Dual blades, a rapier and the rod. The deluxe edition art even teases a 4th, a claw-like weapon called the Assassin Tool. And more are coming as DLC. So in Blood Raven form, the dual blades morph into a massive Tachi, letting you throw out huge sweeping arcs, longer reaching slashes and devastating finishes. The rapier evolves into a drilling lance that pierces straight through enemies and fires blood projectiles. Yeah, this one's already my favorite. And the rod, that turns into a jet-powered hammer, basically a portable wrecking ball. Each weapon doesn't just hit harder, they all get unique cinematic Blood Raven finishes that make every kill feel vicious and stylish. Blood Raven form is wild, it's chaotic, and yeah, it's going to take some practice to master. But once you do, it's pure carnage. Ryu Hayabusa also gets his own ultimate form and it's called the Gleam form. Where Yakumo's blood-driven form is all about raw brutality and carnage, Gleam form is complete opposite. This is Ryu at his absolute peak, supreme speed, precision, and elegance. When you trigger it, Ryu becomes a blur of motion. Yes, teleporting across the battlefield, carving through enemies with impossible quickness, and looking every bit like the legendary Master Ninja we know him as. It perfectly matches his personality, disciplined, ferocious, and unbeatable. Gleam form is powered in much the same way as Blood Raven form. Land attacks, dodges, parries, counters, keep those combos flowing and you will fill up the gauge. Here it's called the key gauge. And once the key gauge has some juice, you can hold on R2 to activate Gleam form. And yep, it's not just a toggle. You actually have to hold it down while attacking, then release when you're about to run out of ki. The catch is that ki drains pretty fast, so the strategy is to weave in and out of Gleam form, switch back to normal mode, rebuild your meter, then dive back in. On top of that, the key gauge also fuels Ryu's magic system, yes, the classic Nimpo. So far we have seen two in action, the Art of the Inferno, which hurls fire straight ahead, and the Art of the Piercing Void, which unleashes a massive energy wave. Where Yakumo rains down blood projectiles, Ryu uses mystical arts to completely control the battlefield. And yes, Gleam form as its own version of the Hogeki counter. Time a power attack perfectly against an enemy's special move. The ones marked with a red warning signal, and Ryu will deflect the strike, break their guard, and leave them wide open for punishment. Just like Yakumo's, the timing window is tight, but pulling it off feels amazing. Finally, Ryu also gets his own ultimate state, kind of his answer to Yakumo's Berserk. Fill up the circular meter, press R3 and L3 and you'll unleash the ultimate Gleam state. For a short burst, Ryu's speed, damage and cinematic finishes go completely off the charts. It's fast, it's explosive and it's the perfect reminder that Ryu is still the one true master ninja of the series. Blocking and dodging have gotten a serious glow up in Ninja Gaiden 4. It's not just holding up your guard or mashing the dodge button anymore. Timing is everything. Land your block at just the right moment and boom, you pull off a perfect block, essentially a parry. Enemies get knocked back, they're wide open and that's your cue. After a perfect block, you got options. You can change straight into an ultimate technique, follow up with a blood driven attack. Personally, that's my go-to. Or even set up a punishing combo. It's incredibly satisfying and rewards precision, making you feel like a true ninja instead of just button mashing. Certain attacks still require a Hogeki counter, but we have already covered that in the form section. Dodging feels just as satisfying. Nail a perfect dodge at the exact right moment by flicking the left thumbstick and the game slows down just long enough to make you feel like time itself bends around you. You slip behind your attacker in one fluid motion and a crisp, satisfying sound pops as the dodge snaps perfectly with the animation. Suddenly you've got a perfect opening to strike back. Honestly, it's addictive. And it's just pure fun slipping through attacks and landing your hits in that perfect slow-mo moment. We also get a grapple hook this time around and it's called the KD's wire, kind of your all-in-one tool to swing, pull and reposition, though it only works at set hook points. In combat it feels awesome. You can zip straight to floating enemies, close gaps instantly, knock them down or pull yourself out of danger when things get too hectic. Outside of combat, it's just as fun. You can swing over gaps, zip up to the higher platforms, and move through the streets of Cyberpunk Tokyo with style. It keeps everything fast and fluid, making traversal feel just as good as the fights. Boss fights are no joke this time around. The AI feels sharper than ever. You can't just button mash your way through anymore. Bosses read your moves, counter your attacks, punish sloppy dodges, and even adapt if you start getting predictable. To really dominate, you've got to use everything the game gives you. Perfect blocks, parries, dodges, Hogeki counters, and of course those big transformations like Blood Raven and Gleam. It's all about timing, precision, and staying one step ahead. The camera's definitely better this time around and it makes a huge difference. It's so much easier to keep track of enemies now, whether you're fighting in a cramped arena or taking on a massive boss in a wide open stage. That said, you'll still catch the occasional projectile from off screen. I know, I hate it. It's super annoying, but honestly it feels like one of those little quirks that just comes with the series. And that's everything I've got for now. Ninja Gaiden 4 is shaping up to be one of the most exciting games in the series, and I honestly can't wait to spend more time with it. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this breakdown, a like would really help the channel out. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.